Number 7 in the Radiance collection is She Dies Tomorrow, and it's the latest movie, 2020. This was released, and it's a kind of indie movie, and it was one of the ones I was a little worried about going into. Wasn't sure what I was going to get. You get Caitlin Schell as Amy, a character at the start of this one that just kind of wakes up in a funk. She just kind of wakes up and has this realisation that tomorrow she's going to die. And for the first 20 minutes of the movie, it's just her kind of going about her business, doing nothing spectacular, just kind of being morose and dealing with the fact
I am going to die tomorrow.
And I was a little bit worried about where the movie was going to go, how it was going to play out. There's some nice shots in amongst this, but the kind of lack of characters, the lack of real story, and the kind of melancholy nature put me in an unsure situation. I wasn't sure how I was feeling, what I was going to experience, what was going to happen next. It's an almost disorientating first 20 minutes. There's these moments where there's blue and red lights that come in throughout the film, which are wonderful. They kind of signal something within the film itself that kind of drew me in. After the 20-minute mark, as we start to see more characters enter Amy's life, as she explains to them that she just knows that she's going to die tomorrow. As she's just steadfast in that thought, she explains it to people. People start to become almost infected. It's as if they've caught something, and they too become that morose way of just realising that their life will end tomorrow. And then we kind of see these fractured stories as these characters move out into the world, spreading this virus of sorts, this virus of people just realising that death is imminent tomorrow.
When you're about to get a cold the next day and it just hasn't hit yet, I know that's what is happening. I'm going to die tomorrow.
It's such a strange and unusual film, and what I kind of liked about it is how it deals with relationships as a whole as well, as we constantly see a flashback to Amy and her boyfriend and the relationship that's having there, the friends that we encounter along the way, a couple who realise they're dying and start to become open and honest with each other, explaining their feelings and how their relationship was doomed anyway. We see another couple who just kind of are happy being around one another. They're both realising that, again, they're going to die tomorrow. And they just kind of put their everything aside and just enjoy each other's company. It's a movie that is more about an experience than a story. There's no explanation as to what's going on. You don't really need it. It's not about why. It's just about how they cope with this idea in their mind and how they move forward from that. Which, like I said, wasn't keen in the film when it started, but the more it went on, the more it kind of drew me in. And I kind of loved it. I'm gonna die. And I loved the flashbacks as we kind of see Amy and her relationship and how it's led to this point, how everything was so wonderful and it was exciting and new and offered countless possibilities for the future, to be ripped away and left with a desolate future and nothing to look forward to, and how that affects her psychologically. I loved those elements within the film, and like I said, there are some nice touches, particularly the score, where they use the same kind of piece of music over and over again, which is really effective. There's also moments where they just smash cut. They have this flowing, haunting image with this music playing, and then it just close to an almost silent scene of something else, and it's almost jarring. And the film has that feeling of just putting you on the back foot. Although it's not out and out horror, there are horror elements here within the mood and the atmosphere created. The idea of the blue and red lights, which I just love that on film anyway, creates a kind of otherworldly supernatural element here. Although the film never goes in that direction, it creates that kind of atmosphere throughout it. She Dies Tomorrow was very interesting. I'm still not sure 100% my feelings on it, which for a film fan is fantastic. It makes me want to go back and revisit it, re-experience it, reanalyse what I'm seeing. But in the initial watch, I went from not being enamoured by it to being really curious and enjoying what I was seeing. Something I would go back and watch again. Not something I would watch much, but something I would definitely go back and check out once more. So let's dive into the extras of She Dies Tomorrow and see what's there. Here we are in the disc for She Dies Tomorrow. We'll go to the special features. We have an interview with Amy Seimetz and Jay Keitel. The writer-director Amy Seimetz and cinematographer Jay Keitel discuss the making of She Dies Tomorrow in this documentary produced in 2020, which runs at 23 minutes and 2 seconds. What I like about this is you have these two filmmakers reminiscing and talking about why they came to certain decisions. Nobody's really driving the conversation other than the filmmakers and what they want to talk about, so it feels as if everything is really on point and pertinent. We have Caitlin Shield and Jane Adams, new interview with cast members, discussing their experience making the film, shot exclusively for Radiance in October 2022. These two actresses kind of talking about how they've worked together before, how they found the process and their ideas on how the film really came together. We have She Dies Tomorrow and the Viral Apocalypses of the Future. This is a newly produced visual essay written and narrated by critic Anton Beitel, examines the film's place in viral and pandemic horror, recorded exclusively for Radiance in September 2022. It's 15 minutes and 11 seconds. I really like this one. It starts off talking, it's broken into segments. It starts off talking a little bit about this film and then moves into other films that have influenced it throughout various horror movies, and they do touch on what I think is probably one of the bigger influences, which is Pontypool, which is a movie that if you haven't seen, you really have to. We have an audio commentary by Anna Budgowska, and we have a trailer. In addition to that, we get the limited edition booklet, which is 30 pages. It has Requiem of Myself by Lillian Crawford, and my favourite is a written piece within this, She Dies Tomorrow, Viral Existentialism by Isabel Miller. That's the disc for She Dies Tomorrow. So there we have it. She Dies Tomorrow is out on Radiance now. If you are feeling a bit experimental, if you're wanting something a little bit different, again, Radiance have just released something completely left field again for me, which I really appreciate. You know, this may not have been something that I would have checked out. Now I have, and I feel better for it. I'd love to know your thoughts on She Dies Tomorrow, whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle, still conflicted over it like I am. Let me know in the comment box below. I can't wait to read your thoughts on this one. There is more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff, and in the description box below are links to Patreon, the membership programme, manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.